Hello, this is Wmpyr. I just saw an interview with Jason Scott Lee, and if I'm not mistaken, the guy really hasn't done much interviews, and this was fascinating. So let me read the title to you guys. It was a YouTube video from Yahoo Entertainment, and it's called Jason Scott Lee Reflects on Playing Martial Arts Legend Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. So it was a fascinating interview to listen to. Back in the day, I remember seeing this at the movie theater. I remember it being packed because I went on the special screening night, so it was like a Thursday night. Friday was supposed to be the opening night, so I believe I went on a Thursday. It was jam packed, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I remember being a little torn because while the movie was amazing, and I did watch it many times after that, over the years, at the same time I felt like Jason Scott Lee's martial arts abilities were lacking. And at the time, I had already started martial arts because I started in 1990. And I was like heavy into the martial arts. And watching, Jason Scott Lee throw kicks and stuff, I was like, oh, this guy, or even his posture and his techniques, it just looked to me like he hadn't had enough training. That's just my opinion. So I was disappointed in that sense. I was also disappointed that the story wasn't accurate to the actual, real life events of Bruce Lee's life. So, I was torn for every time, even to this day when I see the movie. I enjoy the movie. I feel like it's a solid movie, but and I really like the soundtrack and stuff. But to this day, I am torn because of those exact two things. And then in this interview, I can really understand how Jason Scott Lee was talking about how much pressure he had. He even broke down at one point. But I'm really glad to hear that he, I knew that he got training from Jerry Poteet, and I did get to see a Jerry Poteet video back in the day, in the 90s. I remember in college. I remember seeing a Jeet Kune Do instructional video starring Jerry Poteet. But anyway. I'm glad that he did get some actual, Jeet Kune Do training by Jerry Poteet is a Seattle Jeet Kune Do student, if I'm not mistaken. So one of the first gens. So anyway, that he got actual Jeet Kune Do training, and then also that but I knew that, but him getting approval from Brandon Lee, that was really cool to hear that he talked, and his story of meeting Linda Lee and how wonderful she was, and then how he met up with Brandon. That was a really cool story to hear from him. And the fact, that he felt that he wasn't good enough for the role. He was like, yes, I can look muscular, and I can maybe look the part, but I don't have the skills. And they gave him the role anyway. I disagree with that. Like I said, I still feel torn to this day. Now, Jason Scott Lee, to me, in this interview, very likable. Seemed, I don't know him personally, so I'm just judging off of one interview, but at least on this interview, very likable guy. Personally, out of his movies, the one that my favorite is Soldier, where he starred opposite Kurt Russell, and I remember the article in Black Belt magazine where they talked about Soldier. And anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. That's an awesome movie. Period. I like that movie a lot. But going back to this one right here, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. It's like if you watch the restaurant scene, the fight scene that happens in the restaurant, you could see that it's almost comical, like a cartoon, a comic book. And also same with the dance in Hong Kong where a young Bruce Lee gets into a fight uh, with some Navy kids, right? Right there, that's also, it's like a comic book. The same with the fight in the college in Seattle. That's also like a comic book, very comic booky. So you know, like I said, the fight scenes, the skills portrayed, I wasn't super happy with that. And the fact that the story was, you know, how Bruce Lee broke his back wasn't like that. Why they changed it up like that to make it more entertaining. Once again, not happy with that. Um, I I'd like to see it done right. You know, I would like to see a more accurate version. I don't know why Hollywood always has to go and change stuff up and make it super unrealistic. You know, in the end, their excuse is realistic is not entertaining. And um, I disagree with that. I seriously believe that you can make it realistic and you can still make it entertaining and you can still sell tickets. Because if what they're saying is true, you know, the UFC would not be as popular as it is today. At first, people didn't want to change their minds, and everyone was like, they see the UFC and they go, "That's boring. That's, you know, that's gay." They would say stuff like that. But now it's one of the top sports. It's probably the top combat sport. So it just takes time. But so anyway, I feel that now it is the time, and I would like to see a more accurate version of a Bruce Lee story, like his biographical story, and someone playing Bruce Lee, portraying Bruce Lee, that also has the martial skills that we could totally be satisfied upon. Now, that being said, in defense to Jason Scott Lee, to this day, I feel like Dragon is the best Bruce Lee movie that doesn't star Bruce Lee. You know, there's no other. Yeah, and you know what? Like when I've seen and that was one of the things that he said he was scared to make the movie because he didn't want to end up a Bruce Lee or a Bruce Lee, you know, or any of the Bruce Lee clones. But I watched those movies, and Bruce Lee, and Dragon Lee. Those guys are amazing, physically amazing. They're amazing martial artists. So I would like to see someone portray Bruce Lee at that skill level, but then able to, you know, the rest of because a movie, like Jason Scott Lee says, it is a collaborative effort. It's not one person. It is a collaboration. So the rest of the other people need to bring it. And in those films, you know, the quality is just not at the Hollywood level. So yeah, I would like to see that, you know. But up until now, you know, I mean, you could criticize the Bruce Lee Dragon story all you want, and in a way, I am. Like I said, I'm torn, but at least, you know, until they make something better, that's the best we got right now. So, you know, I can't complain, and I do find it definitely overall very enjoyable, and there are many good things about it as well. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was really cool to hear this interview. There's more stuff that I wish they would go in deeper, that I heard stuff about and I want to know. But you know, Jason Scott Lee is such a nice guy. I don't think he's going to go into the nitty gritty stuff. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.